Hello ladies and gentlemen, D.H. Thorne here. This particular video is sort of a sequel to the one I did last year called Manifestations Caught on Film. Now, for those of you who have been following me for any real length of time, you know that I put up rituals every now and then showing and demonstrating ritual performances, and in many cases you can see unusual things happening, things that could be considered captures. And when I say captures, I'm talking about in the paranormal sense. So like when you have a paranormal investigator and they go to someone's home in the middle of the night and they do EVP work and they look for shadows moving that shouldn't be there and all that kind of good stuff. Well, during ritual, you can make similar captures if you have even remotely decent equipment. I mean, a cell phone camera is often plenty to pick up a lot of what you need. A small lapel mic costs you about $10 is all you really need. So if you do this properly, if you set your situation up properly, you can catch your manifestations. And I do recommend to you, all of you who are practicing magic, to set up a camera. Ask permission from your spirits in case you're nervous. Set up a camera and do your ritual and then watch the performance afterward. If you're having any doubt that you're having some sort of spiritual manifestation in your environment, this is a great way to test it and prove it. Now, I want to make some things said before I get into the video footage that I'm going to show you. I want to talk about manifestation briefly. Manifestation of this sort, we'll call it poltergeist activity. One of the problems that I have with it, one of the reasons why I don't encourage you to go seeking this, is because it's not the point. Things like this are mysterious, they are synchronistic, and they are often explainable by natural forces. I am not one of these occultists that tells you that what you're going to see in a ritual is going to be or must be supernatural in order for it to be real. In fact, I think that's a psyop, if you want to know the honest truth. I really think that the powers that be want humanity to be stifled in our spirituality, and they want us to only accept spirituality as being either imaginary or to degrade the imagination as if the imagination is not important, or to make it seem like spirituality can only be supernatural. If it's not supernatural, it's not real. So what do I mean by that? I firmly believe that magic manifests whatever's going on through rational, scientific, skeptically rational means. It does not like to bend the laws or forces of nature just for the fuck of it. If magic can carry out something that you desire, if magic can manifest the experience you're looking for without having to break the laws of science and nature, why would it break the laws of science and nature? What rational reason would it have for doing that? If it requires a certain amount of energy for me to reach up and grab one of my favorite crystal balls, a labradorite sphere, it is a pretty one, isn't it? If it takes a certain amount of energy for me to do that, with my body, with my hand, with my arms, with everything that I am, why would the spirit world or magic cause this sphere to just levitate in the air at all? Why would it do it that way? Wouldn't it take a lot more energy to make that sphere just defy the laws of gravity? Wouldn't it require a lot more energy to manifest a strong wind to carry it up in the air? And wouldn't it disturb my environment? Wouldn't it require some kind of phenomenon of science to do that, that would be so outside of what is possible that it would be impossible? Why would science, why would magic, I should say, do the impossible? What reason would it have to do the impossible rather than do what is rational? It should occur to you, if you're a rational person, if you have a rational mind and you still do magic, that magic uses rational means to do what it does. You are an expression of magic. You're an emanation of the source. Everything you do, your body, your mind, your soul, your whole shebang, is a manifestation of source intention, of awareness that is choosing to have a conscious experience. This thing that you are is a manifestation of magic that allows the spirit to interact with itself, with its bodily self, in a direct way as an avatar. It does not need to manifest levitation if it can manifest an airplane. It does not need to manifest a light out of nowhere that just appears in the darkness if it can just have you bring a flashlight along with you and light a candle. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't do things to communicate with you. The universe communicates with us, and maybe that's the best way we should talk about this. Instead of trying to see this as a supernatural thing, because rational skeptics need it to be, The rational skeptics, I think their ambition, their goal is to destroy spirituality. I don't know if they're paid to do it or if it's just a vendetta they have. Almost like in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, we're taught that humanity will lose its connection to the spirit, and in so doing will suffer detrimental effects because of it, and we see that. Yeah, we live in a golden age of prosperity and comfort and health and all that, but our souls are sick, and it's clear in what we find important. We say that the imagination is just the imagination. We say that the spirit world is just our imagination. Well, I'm here to tell you that take the word just out of that. That is exactly the force that built the pyramids. It required this force of imagination, and this force of imagination is spiritual. It is magic manifest. It is a way that spirituality communicates with us. It inspires us to do and to see. So a rational skeptic, for whatever reason, it's almost a bit of sophistry. It's a straw man argument. It's a kind of really good straw man argument because they can say it's not one. You see, they've got it in their head, or they make the argument that for something to be real in magic or spirituality, it has to completely break the laws of known physics. It has to be a phenomenon that cannot be explained in any other way. Totally ignoring the fact that synchronicity is a well-documented psychosomatic, psychological, spiritual thing. Carl Jung's work on that matter is really good. Even though I've only skimmed this stuff in terms of I haven't read Jung cover to cover, the concept of synchronicity is a sound one. It is one that is rational in psychology, if nothing else. And he would argue synchronicity is the universe talking to itself. It's you in communication with the universe, and the universe is telling you you're on the right path. So when you have something that I would consider a supernatural capture, a paranormal capture, I don't think for a moment that the thing that you're experiencing or capturing on video or whatever kind of medium you're using, I don't think for a moment that that is something that is impossible. I don't think for a moment that the laws of nature are being broken. Rather, I look to the situation and ask myself, what level of magnitude of synchronicity would be required, of coincidence that would be required for that event to happen in the timely fashion it does during a ritual. To give you an example, if I say something like, Spirit, give me a strong sign, and I'm in a quiet room with no noise, and within 3 seconds there's a on the wall. Could that have been a rat falling down in the drywall? Sure. Maybe that's exactly what it was. Could it have been something in the house settling? Probably. But it happened upon request. It happened right when I wanted it to. That is the universe telling you you're on the right track. This is a real ritual. It's working. Now, if you get multiple events of that in a ritual, that's extra powerful. That's really something. But I would warn you, as a practitioner, you shouldn't expect or demand it. It is something that's more of a rare treat. It's kind of a reaffirmation of faith. When you're doing your rituals and this kind of thing happens, it reminds you that it is real. This is not something that you're imagining. However, to be fair, you are sort of imagining the significance because it's entirely possible that it has a rational explanation. It's the significance that matters, though. It is that significance that is the lesson. It is that which gives you information. Now, again, if you're a beginner, even if you're experienced and you're not having these kinds of things all the time, and you're recording your rituals, which I do recommend you do, get the permission of your spirits if you're unsure, start recording your rituals and see what happens. Really watch them when you're done. Really look for things, and give your environment in ritual a lot of chances for supernatural things to happen. Give them manifestation mediums. Create things like fires and smoke. Allow there to be some kind of white noise or something that can cause sounds. Give yourself something. Give the spirits something to manifest within. You will be amazed. This is one of the reasons why I like doing rituals out in nature, because if I'm doing this in a deep, dark forest somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and I set up a ritual bonfire and I do my work, and I'm getting weird noises in the woods and branches creaking and animals chirping and all kinds of weird stuff that shouldn't be happening and normally wouldn't at this time of day or in this situation, there's a lot of things, like wind suddenly picks up, rain suddenly starts on a clear night. All this kind of stuff is really good for magical, synchronistic, paranormal capture. Really good for that stuff. It's really good to give you a note from the universe telling you that what you're doing is right on course. But you don't need that, especially if you are really advanced. If you've been doing this for a while and you have a lot of faith, you don't need to be reminded. Don't expect it as much. But even if you do, it will happen. It will happen pretty consistently. I'm going to say that 40% of the time, maybe, when I ask for a strong sign of some sort, I get one that is something that you can capture on video or on audio. 60% of the time, it is something that I feel and notice that is subtle that maybe wouldn't impress anybody. I notice the way a candle flickers. I notice the way the incense will jump. I'll notice just the shift in the air quality and electrical charge. For me, one of my best signs is when I get a shiver, a shudder. I don't normally shudder at all. I don't know what would make me shudder. I mean, even cold water or something doesn't make me shudder that way. If I suddenly get all the hair on my arms standing up as if someone turned the air conditioner on full blast and I was sitting under it and it's really unusual, if I feel that wave, it's usually a wave, it passes through me like a spirit's going through me itself. It's almost like a spirit's walking through me. And I know that's not probably what's happening, but that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm being immersed in ice water or something. There's a weird sensation. When I feel that chill come over me, when I feel that shudder, I count that. I trust that. I say that was a spiritual manifestation. That's what that was. A spirit was giving me a sensations to show me that it was here. So I'm going to give you guys, coming up next in a second, 2 clips. And we're going to talk about the clips one by one. So this first clip, they're both from the same ritual I did for a friend of mine. And I cut out all the context, so hopefully, he'll hopefully be okay with this. Hopefully he won't care that I'm showing this. But there's nothing in there about him. This is really just part of my preparatory part where I'm setting up to do the ritual for him. So I'm invoking my spirits. I'm getting set up for this. And this first video is after I had lit the incense for the spirits. And I say a few words, I say a few things, and I ask them to give me a strong sign. To give me a strong sign that they've come to my ritual chamber and they're observing and they're watching over this ritual. So I say that and I watch the ritual smoke for a moment, and there's a nice steady stream of it, and almost on cue, as soon as I ask that, the smoke gives a little wiggle. Now, probably that was something to do with my breath. My breath probably caused it to move, but it wasn't doing it through the rest of the things I was saying. It was only doing it when I said, give me a strong sign, and waited for a second. Maybe that was my breath, maybe not. I counted it because I felt the chill at that moment. I felt the wave go through me at the exact same moment that happened. But what's really impressive, because you might not even notice that, it's very subtle. Some people noticed it that I showed it to, other people didn't. When you watch the video, you're going to see that after that, a few seconds later, the smoke begins to move in a dance-like way that mirrors my movement. It happens in such a strange way that I have no rational explanation for it. I was about as far away from the smoke as I am from the camera right now, which is a good 2 feet. So I was about 2 feet away from the ritual brazier. The smoke is billowing out. It's going up in a perfectly straight pattern. I do something with my arms. I forget what exactly. I think I did disturb the air. I did cause a little disturbance. And then I leaned over to do something, and when I did, I noticed that the smoke was mirroring me. And I felt like the smoke was almost dancing with me. And I felt this, again, another wave, another shuddering, another cold chill sweep through my body. And I got this urge to dance with the smoke. And so I started shifting my body side to side. And the smoke almost immediately, almost instantly, started mirroring my movements. So I go left and it appears to go right on the camera. This happens several times in a way that I can't explain. It even started to happen before I was moving. So I'm going like this, I'm going like this. It starts to lead, almost like I'm a dancer with something, and they lead the dance now. And I've just felt compelled to say thanks for the dance. So we're going to call this video, I don't know, Magical Dancer or something, right? So let's watch this. I'll probably run it 2 or 3 times. Maybe I'll slow-mo it if I can. I don't know if I can, but hopefully you guys catch it. And you tell me what you think in the comments on this one. By the elements of fire, air, earth, and water. By the trinity of self, of mind, body, and spirit, I do open the gateway, and I call forth the guardians of this chamber. Make your presence known to us. I feel you. I feel you. Dance with me. Thank you for coming. I feel you. I feel you. Dance with me. Thank you for coming. Dance with me. Dance with me. Okay, what did you think? Another smoke trick, right, Thorne? That was your last video, manifestations caught on film. Well, here we go. Smoke is this is the reason why smoke is used as a manifestation medium. The particles of smoke are extremely lightweight. They are responsive to static electricity. They're responsive to all kinds of things in the environment, the air, the humidity. All kinds of things can change how smoke behaves in your environment. So this gives the spirits a lot of opportunities to interact with that smoke. You can have a lot of reasons and whys and ways that smoke will manifest a spiritual presence for you. Very important and very useful. This is why I use it. This is why you should be using it. This is why incense is such a big deal in magical, especially evocation. You can do spiritual work without any of this, but I find with it, it's always heightened. It gives it a physical component, and it gives the spirits something to latch onto that's physical that can really knock your socks off if you let it. The next one that I'm going to show you, however, is I was unaware, but I think I was being possessed at that moment. Now, I have some possessions on film, which I don't show the general public. I've shown a few other people. I definitely showed the client that it was related to, but I don't show it to the public, and I don't think I ever will. I have to ask their permission. They probably wouldn't care, but I'd have to bleep out their name or something, and I don't really want to go to that trouble, and I don't feel like I want to be that vain about it. If I recorded every possession, it would probably get boring, actually. But in this particular case, this was an unplanned one. This wasn't an intentional channeling of a spirit. It wasn't during that. I had just finished invoking the spirit of Lucifer. Not even as a channeling, it was to honor him as part of the ritual. And I had finished doing the Lucifer, O Lucifer invocation that is in my book of invocations. The long form version of it. This is the very short version. But if you like this, of course, you can go to Teespring. You can purchase this tapestry. It's one of my favorites. So I do this invocation of Lucifer, and when I'm done, you can see that as I'm finishing the last couple words, I'm feeling the energy. I'm kind of feeling aggressive and very rebellious and strong. And I'm standing there, and you can see I'm sort of going into that trance where I'm kind of losing focus a little bit. And you can see my lip curl up in a snarl, and I sort of growl. You might even be able to catch that on the audio. I'm losing it. And next thing I know, as I'm moving, there's first a very mild digital artifact. It's the footage, for whatever reason, just sort of maybe one frame gets dropped. There's some kind of a glitchy movement. Not a movement, but like it stutters a little bit. After that stutter, I'm entering a deeper trance. I'm moving the book in front of my face a little bit. I'm doing something. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly, because I wasn't consciously aware that I was doing any of this. I thought I was putting the book down. Well, I apparently was kind of in a trance and in a daze, and I'm moving the book like this. My head snaps really fast to the side, like faster than I can do. Like probably like that fast. I guess we'll see how it picks it up, but like that. Now, snapping your head like that and not being aware of it, and then especially the way it's done, it looks like a glitch in the video. It's almost instant, and I'm not aware of it. I don't know I did it. Now, was this a glitch on the camera? Maybe. Was it just my head jerking so fast that maybe it was just a twitch? I mean, it can happen. You can move your head pretty quick if you need to, so maybe it's totally normal. But the way it twitches is really freaky and really weird. And everyone I've shown it to, including some people who are very scientifically minded, saw that and were like, wow, what the heck? How's that possible? Now, you have to trust me here. This is not a trick of the video. Maybe it won't even be that impressive to you. Maybe when you see this, you go, yeah, maybe it was just a drop frame or something. Fair enough, but it still happened, and it happened when it did. It happened right at a moment when I felt like, when I'm watching that video, I go, I don't remember that part. I don't remember being tranced out like that. I remember doing the invocation and then putting the book down, calming myself, and then going into the next part of the ritual. Now, does this count as manifestation caught on film? For me, it does. For me, this is a sure sign something happened. For a rational skeptic, it's probably one of those things that I explained. And I'm going to admit that is probably what it was. Maybe I moved my head too quickly. Maybe it was a camera artifact. But the synchronistic significance is what you're working for. That is what you're truly trying to find. And this is why I really recommend that you record your videos, record your rituals in video form if possible, and really replay that footage once or twice, especially if you feel like something happened and you just want to validate it. If you're watching your ritual altar while you're doing things and the candles are wiggling and they seem to be answering your questions, if you've got that on video, it's going to be that much better. And I'm going to tell you, I've rarely, though on occasion, had a spirit tell me that they didn't want it, or they've done things to disturb the video so it wasn't usable, so that either it was only useful for my purposes, but it had crappy audio or video, so it couldn't be shared, the video would cut out, all kinds of weird things. Stuff like that happens when they don't want things shown, or for you to be able to go back and check on it. So I do have footage that I'll never share. That's clearly they don't want it shared because of how that happened. But if you do this, if you create a library of your own rituals that you can watch, it will improve your work a lot, and you will catch these little paranormal things. You'll get these paranormal captures. And when you start doing this and you start developing a pattern where, yeah, about 40% of the time when I ask for a strong sign, I get something, 60% of the time I'm getting something internal, you can start to trust it quite a lot, and you can really start to work with these spirits as a profession even at that point. So let's roll this next footage and then we'll do a closing comment. All right, so this last clip is going to be from a ritual I did for President Marbas back in February, or was it late January, when I was trying to ascertain some information about the beer plague that's going around and screwing with everybody. Well, during this ritual, this evocation, this channeling, I was asking Marbas for information about what would happen, and he was giving me a lot of gnosis and a lot of information, things I didn't quite understand. But I got a little pushy. I started demanding more. I wanted to know what would happen, how will we know that things were real, and all this kind of stuff. And you'll see, quite literally, a fireball erupt from my already rather energetic cauldron that's already signifying a presence of a spirit, in my opinion. There's suddenly a fireball, and that fireball leads to an obvious distress that comes over me. It sucks the energy out of me. It's not, it wasn't like I was being punished or anything. It was more like a sudden, like, you know, stop being pushy, just shut up and listen kind of thing. And it was like, shut up and listen, not everything is meant to be known. You're not supposed to know everything, kind of feeling. And that was that. So let's watch it and then let me know what you think. Four corners, imbue it with the power of protection. Our boss, what will happen? What will happen? How will we know? How will we know? Some things are not to be known. Four corners, imbue it with the power of protection. Our boss, what will happen? What will happen? How will we know? How will we know? Some things are not to be known. Okay, so what'd you think? I probably had to run that a couple of times so you'd catch it and maybe stop the video or something. What'd you think? Was it just a glitch? Was it something special? Was it supernatural? Was it paranormal? Anyway, let me know down in the comments what you think. If you don't like what I'm showing, if you think I'm, you know, that this is not really good footage, be kind. I'm being sincere with you guys. I'm not trying to lie or make anything up. I'm not trying to oh, I don't know, I'm certainly not doing anything to doctor the footage. This is exactly what I've experienced. This is exactly what I've been seeing. So if I'm taking a video of it, I can't necessarily do anything about it. I can't make it happen. If you saw my setup, I don't have any way to do these things. So you can at least trust that I'm being sincere about it. Now, whether it was some kind of artifact in the footage or some kind of natural phenomenon, I'm fully on board with that, but I do want to remind you what I said during this video. Synchronicity doesn't require that it be supernatural. It simply requires that it happens on cue as desired and carries a message. At that point, you can trust it. Anyway, guys, if you like my work, go down to the description. You can check out how you can purchase my books. You can sign up to become a patron. You can buy this beautiful tapestry and others that are really awesome from my Teespring. Go to my website, www.mindtheshadows.com, if you want to follow my blog posts, which I do try to do occasionally. I don't do them as much because I spend so much time doing videos and other work. But you may also want to hire me for ritual services, and that's where you can find that information. Now, otherwise, let's say you don't feel like supporting me that way, you just want to like my videos, please do so. Like, subscribe, and share. Comment as you see fit. Just be polite, of course, that's all I ask. And when you share these videos, just share them responsibly. In the meantime, until next time, mind the shadows. All right, so what did you think of that? All right, so this last clip is going to be from a ritual I did for President Marbas back in February, or was it late January, when I was trying to ascertain some information about the beer plague that's going around and screwing with everybody. Well, during this ritual, this evocation, this channeling, I was asking Marbas for information about what would happen, and he was giving me a lot of gnosis and a lot of information, things I didn't quite understand. But I got a little pushy. I started demanding more. I wanted to know what would happen, how will we know that things were real, and all this kind of stuff. And you'll see quite literally a fireball erupt from my already rather energetic cauldron that's already signifying a presence of spirit, in my opinion. There's suddenly a fireball, and that fireball leads to an obvious distress that comes over me. It sucks the energy out of me. It's not... It wasn't like I was being punished or anything. It was more like a sudden, like, you know, stop being pushy, just shut up and listen kind of thing. And it was like, shut up and listen, not everything is meant to be known. You're not supposed to know everything kind of feeling. And that was that. So let's watch it, and then let me know what you think.